When you wake up and feel your legs heavy, or when every step across the room feels harder than yesterday, it can be frightening. For many older adults, swollen ankles and stiff knees aren't just discomfort. They are warnings that independence may be slipping away. The truth is, once circulation slows and collagen fades, pain and swelling become constant companions. I've seen friends who once walked daily now struggle just to climb the stairs. They never imagined something as simple as weak joints could steal so much freedom. It's not just age, it's the silent choices we make at the table, the habits that either protect our bones or quietly break them down. In Japan, elders learned long ago that food can be medicine. Science now proves that nuts and seeds, rich in omega-3s, vitamin E, and minerals, can ease inflammation and bring strength back to tired legs. These 6 collagen-rich nuts are not miracles, but they may mean the difference between walking with confidence or depending on others. Why do seniors often suffer from leg swelling and joint pain? As the years go by, circulation in the lower body naturally slows down. Blood doesn't flow as smoothly, especially if you spend long hours sitting, and fluid begins. There's another piece to the puzzle: collagen. After the age of 50, the body makes less of it. Collagen is what cushions the joints and keeps movement smooth. Without enough, the cartilage wears thin, bones grind, and inflammation sets in. That inflammation isn't just pain. It feeds swelling, stiffness, and fatigue. Poor diet and dehydration make the situation worse. Many seniors in the West eat foods high in salt and low in minerals, creating even more water retention. Compare that to elders in Japanese villages who often live past 80 while still walking daily. The real lesson here is not that pain is unavoidable, but that daily habits either support or sabotage your legs. A handful of almonds with tea, a sprinkle of sesame on rice. These small choices act as gentle medicine. You don't need an extreme diet shift. Just 1 or 2 collagen-supporting foods can start to ease swelling and bring back comfort. Think of your body like a house. If the foundation cracks and no repairs are made, the whole structure weakens. But with steady care, even old walls can stand strong. Collagen-rich foods give the body what it needs to patch those cracks, slow down the damage, and help you move with more confidence. How collagen affects joint health and leg swelling. Collagen works quietly inside your body, almost like invisible threads holding everything together. It lines your joints with soft padding, protects your bones from grinding, and gives structure to your skin and tissues. Once this natural cushion begins to thin, simple movements like standing from a chair or walking across the room can feel heavier than before. After 50, collagen production drops year by year. Imagine a stream that slowly dries up. The flow isn't gone overnight, but little by little, the body feels stiffer. Recovery takes longer, and swelling appears more often. Inflammation builds up, and with it, the ankles and calves retain fluid. This is why many older adults wake up fine, only to notice their shoes feel tight by evening. Science shows that collagen does more than comfort the joints. It supports blood vessels, keeping fluids moving smoothly, and strengthens tissues that hold everything in place. Without it, healing slows down and balance becomes harder to maintain. But here's the hopeful part. Your body can be encouraged to make collagen again. Vitamin C, zinc, and plant proteins provide the raw materials for this repair process. Instead of relying only on supplements, many cultures, including Japanese elders, turn to food. A spoonful of hemp seeds in soup, a handful of almonds with tea, or sesame sprinkled on rice are not just snacks. They're small acts of maintenance, like oiling the hinges of a door before it squeaks. Over time, these habits bring lighter legs, smoother mornings, and fewer aches. Think of collagen as the stitching in your favorite old jacket. You don't notice it until it frays, but once reinforced, the jacket lasts for years. Supporting collagen through daily nutrition is the same. You give your body what it needs to hold strong. This isn't a miracle, but it is a way to keep moving with dignity and less pain. Chia seeds. The power of something so small. These tiny black seeds look almost insignificant. Yet when you drop them into water, they swell and transform into a soft gel. That simple reaction is a clue to what they can do inside the body. Hold moisture, ease digestion, and help calm inflammation that fuels joint pain and swelling. I once met Mrs. Miller, a retired teacher in California, who swore by her morning chia drink. She mixed a spoonful of seeds with warm water, lemon, and honey. At 82, she walked every day without the ankle swelling that used to trouble her. She told me, "My knees finally stopped screaming at me." Her story reflects what research now confirms. Chia seeds are rich in omega-3s, plant protein, and fiber, a trio that supports collagen production and steady circulation. The omega-3 ALA in chia is especially valuable. It's a plant-based fat that cools inflammation, protecting the joints from the constant wear of aging. The protein in chia supplies amino acids for rebuilding collagen, while the fiber steadies blood sugar and reduces water retention. Together, these nutrients create a subtle but steady improvement in mobility and comfort. The beauty of chia is in its simplicity. No cooking, no complicated recipes. You can soak them overnight, add them to oatmeal, blend into smoothies, or stir into soup. Consistency is what matters. One small ritual, repeated daily, can bring lasting results. In Japan, and increasingly in the West, elders are turning to chia not as a fad, but as a quiet ally for aging legs. Think of it this way. Small things, done regularly, build strong foundations. A teaspoon of chia won't change your life overnight, but over months, it can ease stiffness, reduce swelling, and give you confidence in your steps. Sometimes the most powerful medicine is hidden in the smallest package. Walnuts, the friend of the knees. For many years, I didn't think twice about my joints. Walking, squatting, even kneeling felt effortless. But around my late 60s, I began to notice a stiffness creeping in, especially when climbing stairs. That was when I started paying closer attention to walnuts, not as a snack, but as a quiet form of joint support. Walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that acts like an internal fire extinguisher for inflammation. Scientists have found that people who regularly eat walnuts show lower markers of inflammation and improved mobility. It makes sense. Less inflammation means less swelling, and with that, knees can bend and flex more freely. To me, walnuts feel like small tools of repair, giving the body resources to patch worn cartilage and cushion bones. I met Mr. Johnson, a 90-year-old gardener from Oregon who eats 5 walnuts every afternoon. He laughed when I asked why not 10. "Because 5 make me listen to my body, not fight against it," he said. His moderation is part of the lesson. Walnuts are powerful, but balance is what makes them sustainable. Too much of anything, even a good thing, can overwhelm digestion and create new problems. What makes walnuts especially helpful is their mix of healthy fats, protein, and antioxidants. This trio works together to protect joints from daily wear. I like crushing them into a paste with a touch of miso, spreading it over steamed vegetables. It's earthy, light, and my knees feel more at ease afterward. Even adding a few chopped walnuts into warm rice turns a simple meal into quiet medicine. The truth is, caring for your knees isn't about waiting until pain becomes unbearable. It's about small, steady practices that support them long before trouble takes over. Walnuts offer that kind of gentle, preventive care. Almonds, strong bones, bright skin. When I was younger, I admired how my aunt in Denver, well into her 70s, still had smooth skin and strong hands. She used to say, "Take care of your legs and your hands. They carry your life." At the time, I didn't fully understand, but as the years passed, I realized she was pointing to something deeper. The link between what we eat and how our body ages. Almonds have become one of my most trusted foods. They're gentle on the stomach, especially when soaked overnight, and packed with nutrients older bodies quietly beg for. Magnesium helps muscles relax and reduces cramping. Calcium supports bone density, lowering the risk of fractures. And vitamin E, often thought of as a beauty nutrient, actually protects the cells inside joints as much as it does the skin. I once visited a senior yoga class in Seattle where the instructor encouraged her students to eat a few almonds before stretching. "They give you light energy without heaviness," she explained. It struck me that something so small could make such a noticeable difference. Many students shared that their legs felt less tired and their balance improved with this simple habit. That's the quiet power of almonds, steady support without overwhelming the body. The ritual of soaking almonds overnight has also become important to me. They soften, become sweeter, and are easier to digest. Eating them slowly in the morning with warm tea feels almost meditative, a reminder to begin the day with patience. Small acts like this don't just feed the body, they shape the rhythm of aging, turning meals into moments of care. Almonds won't erase all pain or stiffness, but over time they strengthen bones, ease fatigue, and even brighten the skin. That's why I see them as both food and quiet medicine. Pumpkin seeds, zinc and collagen, hand in hand. When autumn comes, kitchens fill with the smell of roasted squash and warm soups. For me, that scent always brings back the memory of my grandmother in Ohio, drying pumpkin seeds on the porch before roasting them with a pinch of salt. At the time, I thought it was just a seasonal treat. Years later, I learned she was giving her body something far more valuable: zinc. Zinc is a quiet hero for aging joints. Without enough, the body struggles to make and repair collagen. That's why wounds take longer to heal and joints ache after even small activities. For seniors, low zinc often shows up as bruises that linger or swelling that doesn't go away. Adding pumpkin seeds is a simple way to bring this mineral back into daily meals. I began eating them more regularly in my 70s after noticing that evening walks left my calves heavy and sore. Within a few months of adding just 2 tablespoons a day, the swelling eased, and my knees felt steadier. Science backs this up. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest plant sources of zinc, along with protein and healthy fats that strengthen skin and bones. What I love most is their versatility. You can sprinkle them on oatmeal, blend into a paste with miso for vegetables, or mix into rice with sesame and herbs. A friend of mine, Mr. Harris, now 89, swears by his homemade seasoning blend of pumpkin seeds, seaweed, and bonito flakes. He says it's his secret to staying mobile through the winter. Pumpkin seeds remind us that healing doesn't have to be complicated. No expensive supplements, no strict diets, just small, natural foods that quietly restore balance. They are dense, grounding, and packed with the kind of strength our bodies crave as we age. Hemp seeds, natural tissue repair and pain relief. A few years ago, while visiting a small farming town in Vermont, I met an elderly couple in their late 80s who still worked their garden with surprising ease. When I asked their secret, they pointed to a bowl of tiny hemp seeds on the table. "These little ones heal everything," the husband chuckled. At first I thought it was just an old saying, but after looking deeper, I realized how right he was. Hemp seeds are rich in a nearly perfect balance of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. This ratio is essential for calming chronic inflammation, one of the biggest culprits behind joint pain and swelling in older adults. More importantly, they contain all 9 essential amino acids, which act as building blocks for repairing tissues and producing collagen. That's why many people who add hemp seeds notice their recovery speeds up after injuries or daily strain. I began using them after a fall in my garden left my hip sore and slow to heal. Instead of stronger medication, I turned to food. I added a spoonful of hemp seeds to oatmeal in the morning, sprinkled them over vegetables at lunch, and stirred them into tea at night. Within weeks, the deep ache softened, my sleep improved, and I woke up feeling lighter. This gentle healing is exactly what makes hemp seeds unique. They don't overwhelm the body. They simply provide the tools for repair. In Japan, this idea connects to the philosophy of eating until you're 80% full, nourishing without excess, leaving space for the body to restore itself. Hemp seeds fit this perfectly, offering dense nutrition without heaviness. I also think of my friend Mrs. Lopez, a retired nurse in her 70s, who now teaches Tai Chi. She keeps a jar of roasted hemp seeds by her bedside, calling them her evening medicine. She says her legs no longer feel stiff in the morning, and her balance during practice has never been better. Hemp seeds remind us that the body wants to heal. It just needs the right environment and steady support. Sesame, the traditional Japanese seed. One of my clearest childhood memories is the sound of my mother grinding sesame seeds with a small wooden pestle. The nutty aroma filled our kitchen in Chicago, wrapping the room in warmth and comfort. Back then, I thought it was just about flavor. Only later did I learn how powerful sesame really is for joints, bones, and circulation. Sesame seeds are loaded with calcium, magnesium, and copper, 3 minerals that aging bodies desperately need. Calcium protects bone density, magnesium keeps muscles relaxed, and copper helps reduce joint stiffness. On top of that, sesame contains a unique compound called sesamin, which has been studied for its ability to fight inflammation and oxidative stress. For seniors, that means less swelling, less stiffness, and more mobility. I remember meeting Mrs. Tan, a 92-year-old calligraphy teacher in San Francisco, who still sat cross-legged for hours while writing. When I asked her secret, she laughed and said, "Sesame keeps the oil in my joints." That simple phrase carries deep truth. Without enough lubrication, our joints grind and ache. With sesame as a daily habit, many elders find their movements easier, their balance steadier, and even their energy stronger. The beauty of sesame is how naturally it fits into daily meals. You can sprinkle it over rice, blend it into dressings, mix into tofu, or even stir black sesame paste into warm milk before bed. I've made it a ritual myself. 1 spoonful in the morning, another at night. It eases the tension in my legs and gives me a sense of grounding before sleep. Science is now catching up to these traditions. A recent study found that seniors who consumed sesame extract daily experienced less pain and better mobility in just 2 months. But beyond the data, sesame represents something bigger, a rhythm of eating that connects food with healing, tradition with health. So here we are at the end of this quiet journey through 6 small but powerful seeds and nuts. None of them promise instant miracles, but each one gives your body what it needs to remember how to heal. In Japan and in many other places, people don't chase youth. They honor the years, and they feed the bones and joints that carry them through life. Adding these foods isn't about changing everything overnight. It's about building small rituals, soaking a few almonds, sprinkling sesame over rice, or sipping chia in warm water. These habits may look simple, yet they create a foundation for lighter legs, calmer mornings, and a steadier walk. Aging does not mean losing vitality. It can mean living with deeper wisdom, more patience, and the quiet strength you've always carried. Let food remind you of that strength. Every handful, every spoonful is a way of saying to your body, I still care for you.